I thought I knew what heartbreak felt like, until I read those messages on her laptop. 3.5 years of marriage. Gone in an instant. Jessica was my world. Or so I believed. We had plans, dreams, a future mapped out in conversations over Sunday morning coffee. But that December night sitting alone in our apartment while she was supposedly working late, I discovered the truth. She was not at the office. She had not been at the office for months. And the man she was with was not just a colleague. I never imagined I would become a ghost in my own life. Before I take you through what happened, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted, completely hit that like button and subscribe, because what I am about to share might make you rethink everything you know about trust and second chances. Let me show you how silence became my strongest weapon. I met Jessica 5 years before everything fell apart at a small coffee shop in Portland, where I used to work on code after hours. She walked in one rainy October evening, shaking water from her coat, and sat 2 tables away with a book I had just finished reading. We started talking about the ending, debated the author's choices, and 3 hours later we were still there, the barista sweeping around our feet. That was how it started. Easy. Natural. Like we had known each other forever. She was brilliant. A marketing coordinator back then, ambitious and creative with ideas that spilled out faster than she could write them down. I was a software engineer at a small startup, spending long nights debugging code and dreaming about building something meaningful. We understood each other's drive. We fell in love the way people do in movies, quickly and completely without hesitation. 2 years later, we got married on the Oregon coast. Nothing fancy, just 50 people, a simple ceremony with the ocean behind us, and vows we wrote ourselves. I promised to support her dreams. She promised to grow old with me. I meant every word. I thought she did too. The first 3 years of marriage were good. We rented a 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Portland, small but perfect for us. Sunday nights were sacred. The sacred for morning rhythms, the jumper duding, samasgran.com. Sunday nights were sacred. I would cook pasta, she would pick the wine, and we would talk about everything and nothing. We took a road trip to Crater Lake during our 2nd year, stayed in a tiny cabin with no cell service, and spent 3 days hiking and planning our future. We wanted to buy a house. We talked about having kids, maybe 2 once we were more settled. Everything felt possible. Then things started to change. It was subtle at first, the kind of shift you notice but convince yourself is nothing. Around month 10 of our 3rd year, Jessica started working with Kyle, a new senior director who joined her company. She mentioned him casually at first. Kyle suggested this campaign idea. Kyle thinks we should pivot our strategy. Kyle said, I have real potential for a director role. I was happy for her. She deserved recognition. But then the late nights started. 3 times a week became 4, then almost every weeknight. She would text me around 7 p.m., same message variations. Meeting running long. Be home by 10. Do not wait up. Her phone habits changed too. She used to leave it face up on the counter unlocked, never caring if I saw her screen. Suddenly, it was always face down. She changed her passcode without mentioning it. When I asked why, she shrugged and said something about work security protocols. It made sense. I wanted it to make sense. The weekend meetings started next. Saturday mornings. Sunday afternoons. Always with Kyle's team. Always urgent. I suggested we finally look at houses, something we had been planning for months. She said we should wait until her project finished. I mentioned kids again. She said maybe next year, work was too demanding right now. One evening I asked her directly about Kyle. Just a simple question over dinner. She smiled and touched my hand. Just a colleague, honey. He is helping me with the new campaign. Her eyes were clear. Her voice was steady. I believed her because I wanted to believe her. Because trusting your wife should not feel like a risk. But the unease stayed. It lived in my chest, small and persistent, growing a little each day. Month 11 arrived. Jessica went on a business trip to Seattle, 3 days for a marketing conference. She kissed me goodbye, promised to call every night. I found the hotel confirmation email 2 days later, left open on our shared laptop. The reservation was for a double room, not a single. When she got back, I mentioned it carefully. "The company booked it wrong," she said. "I will get it fixed." She did not look worried. She looked annoyed that I brought it up. The small things piled up, phone calls where she would step onto the balcony, voice dropping low, a strange perfume scent on her blazer floral, and expensive nothing like what she wore. One night, I woke at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom, and found her in the living room, typing on her phone, smiling at the screen with an expression I had not seen in months. When she noticed me, the smile vanished. "Just memes from the work group chat," she said. I started to feel like a stranger in my own marriage. She would sit across from me at dinner, telling me about her day, and I would wonder how much was true. The worst part was not the lying. It was how easily she did it. How she could look into my eyes and construct these careful explanations, her face open and innocent while I drowned in doubt. I decided I needed proof before confronting her. Because if I was wrong, if I was letting insecurity poison something good, I would never forgive myself. But if I was right, I needed to know exactly what I was dealing with. The truth came on a Friday night in late December, 2 weeks before Christmas. Jessica said she had to work late, another deadline, probably home by 11. I told her I would grab dinner with a friend. Instead, I came home at 8 p.m. Her laptop sat on the kitchen table, still open, still logged in. She had left in a hurry. I did not plan to look. I walked past it 3 times, making coffee, checking my phone, trying to convince myself to just close it and walk away. Then a notification popped up. A message from Kyle. The preview showed just enough. "Cannot wait to see you tonight. He thinks I am at the office." My hands moved before my brain caught up. I opened the messages, scrolled back, started reading. September. 72, 72, 72. That was when it started, based on the earliest messages I could find. 3 months of conversations. Plans to meet. Stolen afternoons. That Seattle trip was not a conference. They had spent 3 days together at a hotel. The cabin, I thought, was our special place. She had taken him there in October while I was at a work conference in San Francisco. I read everything. Every message where she called him baby. Every plan they made behind my back. Photos they had sent each other. Conversations about me. "He has no idea," she wrote once. "He is so trusting, it almost makes me feel bad." Almost. There were discussions about their future together, about when she would leave me. Kyle wanted her to wait until after the holidays. "Easier that way," he said, "less messy." I sat in the dark living room laptop screen, glowing, feeling like someone had reached into my chest and crushed everything vital. No anger yet. Just this vast, empty coldness. The person I loved most in the world had been methodically destroying us for months, and I had suspected but hoped I was wrong. Jessica came home at 11:15. I heard her car in the driveway, watched her walk in smelling like different perfume, makeup lighter than when she left, hair slightly messed. She smiled when she saw me on the couch. "How was work?" I asked. My voice sounded normal. "Steady. Exhausting," she said. "I am going to shower." She kissed the top of my head and disappeared into the bathroom. I sat there listening to the water run, her humming a song I did not recognize, and something clicked into place. I was not going to confront her. I was not going to fight or demand explanations, or give her the chance to lie to my face again. I was going to disappear. That night, while she slept beside me, I started planning. Jessica did not deserve my anger. She did not deserve closure or explanation or the opportunity to make excuses. What she deserved was to feel what I felt: lost, confused, powerless. Ghosting seemed cruel, but staying to be lied to seemed crueler. Over the next 3 weeks, I prepared everything in silence. I found a new apartment in Seattle, a city I had always wanted to try, 3 hours north. Better tech opportunities. Fresh start. I accepted a job offer from a company that had been recruiting me for months' positions starting February 1st. I opened a new bank account and transferred my half from our joint savings down to the last dollar. Nothing more, nothing less. I did not want her money. I wanted nothing from her. I packed, slowly. A box here, a bag there. Always when she was at work. Clothes. Books. The things that mattered. I left everything we bought together. I contacted a divorce lawyer, had papers drawn up, signed my half. Simple, no-fault divorce. Clean split. No drama. The whole time I acted normal. I cooked dinner. Asked about her day. Watched movies on the couch. She had no idea. Not even a flicker of suspicion. Looking back, that should have hurt more. The fact that she was so deep in her affair, she could not even notice me checking out of our life. I picked a Monday in early January. Jessica left for work at 8 a.m. Kissed me goodbye. Said she would be home late. Another meeting with Kyle, though she did not mention his name anymore. I had called in sick to my job. The movers arrived at 9 a.m. 3 hours later, the apartment was empty of everything that belonged to me. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter next to the divorce papers and a short note. I know about Kyle. You do not need to explain. The papers are ready. My lawyer will contact you. Do not try to find me. Then I got in my car and drove north. I blocked her number. Blocked her on every social media platform. Changed my email password. Called my family and close friends with a simple message. We are getting divorced. I need space. Please do not share my contact information with her. By the time Jessica came home that night, I was 200 miles away, sitting in an empty Seattle apartment, feeling free and gutted at the same time. Seattle was cold that January, but I needed the change. My new apartment was small, a studio in Capitol Hill, with old hardwood floors and a window that looked out onto a tree-lined street. Basic. Anonymous. Perfect. The job was good. Challenging projects, smart team, the kind of work that required focus, and left little room for dwelling on the past. I threw myself into it completely. Stayed late. Volunteered for complex problems. Built a reputation fast. Outside of work, I started over.